You are listening to the Kentucky X-Files with hosts Dennis Mays and Tyler Stewart. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Spotify or YouTube so you never miss an episode. Now, to our show.
Something that would be in the context of the
What we
supernatural.
describe as being a gray, silver-looking, upright bipedal creature, dragging a deer out of that cave going up the hill.
Where he goes, hey, I got a question for you. He goes, do you believe in demons?
And it takes one big step and vanishes. I'm like, oh my God, that was a Bigfoot.
Monster. And look at these pictures of this white creature.
Something 7'3" to 8 foot tall.
Right.
That, let's say it like
And I'll tell you right now, if this was a bear, then this bear was standing on his hind legs, and he was running like a man. No, this wasn't no bear.
now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was a Dogman.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kentucky X-Files.
Dun dun dun.
This is episode 25.
25.
Technically, it's 24, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
we had
fudged
a
up.
two-parter.
I fudged up on that. I thought we were making it. It's
Well, you know, I was all in on it, on the part 2 of Lee's story being 24.
yeah,
But then when I got to looking at it, I'm like, it's really not a new episode. It's kind of like a continuation of
yeah. It
another
was like what we
episode,
used
so,
to do on
yeah.
YouTube because we cut them up in
Yeah.
halvesies,
I
and
feel like our listeners are going to forgive us.
I hope so.
I feel like they will.
I feel
They
like
seem-
at least the one guy will, and that's Travis.
Oh, Travis Drum, yeah, definitely.
He's always a good guy.
You know, that technically is another shout-out.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 shout-outs he's had. So we're spoiling this guy. Travis, you're spoiled, but we love you. Thanks for being out there. Speaking of shout-outs, I wanted to throw a shout-out to a YouTube subscriber that we have named Maniacs, and also known as Mindy. And she's been posting a lot of good information on our videos, on our in our comment section. So if you guys check that out, some of the stuff that she's posted is pretty awesome, pretty eye opening. I genuinely just enjoy talking back and forth with her. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. You know, interesting thing, Landis,
Yep.
Police Chief Landis.
I think that was episode 11.
11? Wow.
I think it was 11.
Okay, so he messaged me the other day, and they have a Bigfoot sighting that just happened.
Like, he actually got the report? Like, they called into the...
I don't know.
Or was it around his area?
I don't know if he got the report, but apparently it was all over. It was, I'm trying to bring it up here. It was all over the news the other day for him, and he was so excited to tell me about it. Table Rock Lake is where it happened in Missouri. And an interesting thing is I did a little bit of research on this area.
Table Rock?
Table Rock Lake has Bigfoot sightings during the hottest times of the year. So that's an interesting little tidbit. What I keep thinking is, I think I figured it out. Okay. Bear with me.
Okay.
It's an 8-foot tall guy with a Bigfoot costume, and he goes out during the hottest time of year to mess with people. What do you think? You just
sounds
don't,
like
you don't look convinced.
that sounds
here.
like heat stroke waiting to happen.
That's
Does,
what I thought.
does he have like a team of people?
I
That,
mean, seriously, like, is nobody else thinking this? Like, really?
I'm sorry. Like, for a joke, if I'm uncomfortable, in
Yeah.
not
yeah.
in like if like being embarrassed.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
more of like if I'm physically uncomfortable, like
Yeah.
being hot.
Uh-huh.
I hate the heat. I know some people can take it, but being in something like that,
Dude, yeah.
it has to be unbearable.
I was sitting there, and I sat there one night, and I tried to get in the mind state of how do what goes through the mind of someone who goes, "Hey, I got this idea. Okay, get a camera. I'm gonna get this super hot gorilla outfit.
That's going to cost me so
It's
much
gonna
money.
cost me. Well, we got to spend a lot on it because we want it to be believable because the whole world's gonna be watching. And I'm gonna go out in the hottest time of the year, and I'm gonna run around the woods, and we're gonna hoax Bigfoot." Think about this for a second, constant listeners. Think about this. What I'm saying to you right now. Deduct everything from this, and let's go to the bare minimum logic. And that is a word that nobody seems to like anymore, especially in this topic. Cryptids, unknowns, UFOs, aliens, ghosts, goblins, demons, grandma, you name it. When we start to try to think logically about it, we can't. We can't get past that part. We can't stop ourselves from going, it's made up. You know what I found out?
What?
Okay, I'm coming around to this. This will make sense in a minute, okay? Today on the news, I heard there was a water purification place that had this big reservoir, I guess, and the reservoir was attracting aquatic life, right? But there was some fish that had hatched in it at some point, and they were living in it, and then there was a flood or something, and the water ended up touching some like a creek or something. So wild fish were actually coming into this reservoir. Okay. All of a sudden, these people that were studying the water, they noticed something. The fish were hanging out in this certain spot of the lake all the time. Okay, and I know when I tell you why, you're literally, I can't, unless you listen to it, you're going to be like, what? Guess why the fish were hovering to this one certain area in the lake?
The only thing I can think about is like food.
Well, it's close, I guess. It was methamphetamine in the water because it was coming from the city. Apparently, methamphetamine had been in the water. The fish were hooked on the meth. Now, check this out. When they separated the fish out of this dirty water and they introduced them to brand new, clean water and meth water, 10 out of 10, the fish went back to the meth water. Logic, people. Think about this. That shit actually happened. About 2 years ago in the United Kingdom, they found cocaine in the shrimp. The shrimp were hooked on coke, guys. This happens in our world. Think about this for a second. This shit happens. It's not that crazy anymore. This stuff happens, and the more crazy shit that we come up with, the more crazy stuff happens out in the world. Now, think about the other 50% of stuff that happens that we don't have anything to do with. We haven't exactly been upright for that long. We haven't exactly been writing books for that long. We ponder the mysteries of the universe, but we don't fully understand them. We don't fully understand anything. We're learning as we go. So, I've looked at some of these videos. I've personally sat and I've dedicated hours to studying and looking at these videos of these supposed hoaxers. And the only thing that I keep coming back to is, okay, so if there's going to be a hoax, there has to be something to gain from it, right? Something big to gain from it. If you're going to gain from it, well, what's the thing you're going to try to gain? You're going to try to gain money. I mean, you're not out there trying to become the world's best hoaxer, are you? That doesn't make any sense. So what do you want? You want a viral video? You want a video that gets 1 million hits and you make a bunch of money off of it? It's not worth that much anymore. Getting a lot of hits on a YouTube video isn't paying the bills.
Oh no.
So
you gotta have like a constant following and
you got to really get out there.
And plus, like, having a video doesn't hit like he was saying is
It's hit or miss.
it's hit or miss too because
Even a viral video isn't consistent.
yeah, because the only way it actually has anything to it is if you can sell it for like commercials
You know?
or something of that nature.
There you
Like
go.
that's the only way because videos don't.
Well,
It
what-
has to get like in the hundreds of millions of views to even, I would say,
Yeah.
make like put you on the map. But after that, especially within this kind of thing, and you come out,
Sure.
you're really putting a target on your back.
Yeah. The other thing that I kept thinking was, okay, so say that's it. You're like, okay, I'm gonna get millions of hits. I'm gonna go viral with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are you taking out a $10,000 loan to get this costume made? Some of these costumes, folks, have muscles that are moving underneath the fur and toes that are actually gripping the soil and even lifting upward with the step, the mid-tarsal break, all that. You know, we've got it out there. We've heard, we've seen dermal ridges. You know, eye shine, guys. Eye shine. Out of all of it, that's going to be your most difficult one to fake. Eye shine. So, what I ask all of you out there is this. Why spend upwards of probably tens of, and I'm probably not estimating high enough, tens of thousands of dollars on a suit that's not going to make you anything back substantially? It's not going to pay for itself.
That's a waiting game, and even
And it's not a definite.
yeah.
You know. Okay, so then what? You know, what's the plan after that? Do you just sit somewhere and you laugh? You decide to put on a suit to look like Bigfoot and go running through the woods in the country that has the most armed hunters in the entire world. And these hunters will literally shoot at you if you scare them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there that have straight up said that I've had an encounter and this thing scared me so bad I couldn't shoot at it. I couldn't do anything. I believe them. But no two people are the same.
Oh yeah.
So, what happens if you're out there in a suit, running around the woods, and you scare the wrong hunter and he just shoots? Maybe he nervous fires. You startle him, he pulls the trigger. Does that not factor in to a hoaxer? Doesn't that almost make the hoaxer kind of seem a little far-fetched? I have an alternative theory. I have another theory I want to throw you guys. Nothing proven, just thinking, thinking and pondering and trying to open up possibilities, trying to just unfold it more, the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot. 7 months ago, if you sat down with me and said, hey, do you believe in Bigfoot? I'd say, I don't know. 7 hours from now, if you sit down with me, I might tell you something different. I might say, well, I think the term believing in Bigfoot is kind of silly. It's not Santa Claus. You know what I mean? Do you believe in bears? You know what I mean? I don't believe in this creature. I feel that it's a very probable creature, being, whatever you want to call it. Archaic human, relic human, human ancestor, missing link, Nephilim. I don't care what you call it. We're all talking about the same thing. So here's a theory for you. I want to paint a scenario, and you tell me. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your, emails. There's a link on our Facebook now, too. If you want, you can even send us a voice message, and it will get played on the show, provided you don't get on there and say, messed up stuff.
Yep.
Or you never know. We might play it anyway. I don't know. But anyway. So you have this group of creatures, these upright hominids. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. They can see in the dark. They're just tremendously skilled. They took a different path on their evolution. They went the natural route. They blend with the earth. They live in harmony with the earth. They take when they need to take, and they give back when they need to give back. And you know what? No matter what you say out there, 95% of the encounters end peacefully. Okay? So for the most part, they seem to just want to be left alone. But how did they get to that point? So we go back in time. Let's go back. Let's make an imaginary number. I'm just going to say let's go back 12,000 years. And let's say that the first of these people split off from us and lived isolated somewhere and began to evolve, themselves basically. Well, what happens? Only the biggest and the strongest and the smartest and the fastest go forward. Those are the only 4 that get to survive. And it's not a rule that's set by anybody but nature. Nature decided the game rules here. If you are not smart, be strong. If you are not strong, be smart. And if you're neither of those, be fast. And then every now and again, be lucky. Every now and again. So let's say that happened. 12,000 years ago, these creatures were breeding not very much. Not very often. And maybe when they did, maybe not all the babies survived. But the ones that did survive were the strongest babies. And those babies grew up just as big as their daddies and mommies, maybe even a little bit bigger. And they had babies of their own. The ones that could find a mate. And those had even bigger and even stronger babies. Now, let's go ahead and fast forward 12,000 years into the future. And we have 7, 8, 9 foot tall forest giants walking around. They can see in the dark. They can blend in with their surroundings. They can basically sense your presence from a mile away. They can cause you to literally have a bowel movement in your pants with just vibration, just sound coming at you. How did they get there? They evolved. They became the biggest. They became the strongest. They became the fastest. And they were the luckiest. And they've also watched us from a distance. And they've watched what we do. They've watched how we treated things. They watched how we treated each other. They watched how we treated the earth, the animals, the water, the trees, the forest, the lands. They watched us hunt things to extinction. They watched us burn things to the ground. They watched us dig holes in the earth itself and pull the bones right out of it. Why do you think they want to talk to you at all? They don't want nothing to do with us. They want to be left alone. But they have a secret. They have a treasure locked inside of them. And I think that's why. I heard a rumor a while back that said someone had said something along the lines of a man was able to connect and talk to these beings and understand them, and these beings told him that there was men hunting them and taking them. Why? Wasn't it obvious? 12,000 years, and I'm just guessing 12,000 years of evolution might have produced one of the most powerful immune systems on the planet. Think about a shark, right? A rumor was started years ago about a shark being immune to cancer. Almost instantly, people were killing sharks left and right and harvesting them illegally. It wasn't true. It wasn't true that you can eat sharks and not get cancer. It just means something about them is resistant to cancer. So what about this creature, this hominid, North American Sasquatch, the Yeti, the Yowie, the Yari? What about them? What are they resistant to? Why have you never heard a story about walking up on a Sasquatch that's laying there dying of cancer? It's because they don't get it. It's because they don't get these diseases unless they come in too close to us and they catch it from us. And if they're lucky, their superior immune system probably knocks it right out. Now, if it's a relative of ours, and I imagine an upright primate or hominid, I imagine it would have to be some relative of ours. And some people believe, and there's even rumors going around that the DNA is very similar. Now, some people would say that, hey, you know what? They say that they're about 75-80% human. Hey, that's close enough. Let's see if that immune system works on us. So, it's no secret that the top 1% of this, world run the world. They are the richest. They are the wealthiest. They own everything. They own me. They own you. They own everything we do. We pay them to go to work. Think about that. We pay for water, people. Water is a gift. It's literally an element. Do you pay for wind? I don't. Do you pay for snow? No. Do you go outside and you pay money to someone for sunlight? No. These are elements. They're a gift from our planet. We shouldn't have to pay for these. So, of course, a Sasquatch would be watching all this. What would he be thinking? Like, Jesus, these guys, they just really don't know. They really don't know. They don't get it. They don't understand. The more things they build, the more they lose themselves. I almost imagine that they feel sorry for us because we've missed the point. We think the point is our big TVs and our sports cars and our smartphones and our imaginary money and imaginary lines that we drew on a map and our imaginary days. Think about that for a second, folks. We helped ourselves lose our souls. If Sasquatch is out there and he doesn't want anything to do with this, who can blame him?
Yeah, I know this. This kind of took a turn. This is more of a episode's kind of like comparing us to the Sasquatch, and showing that, but yeah, you gotta think about it. They literally wake up and if they're hungry, they'll go hunt.
Yeah.
Bring food back, they'll eat.
Think about that, man. If there's no days on your calendar, and you're out in the wilderness and you have your son with you, okay, you don't think about tomorrow or yesterday. You just love your son right now. Right now with your son is all that matters.
Yep.
That's it. Think about that. The beauty of that.
Yeah,
that's to the point.
And it's I was just thinking is that, okay, we go to our jobs to pay for these things, like the TVs, the cars, everything of that. Some people literally break their backs to make money to pay for the things that they got. But you gotta think, and sometimes you can't even pay for food to put on the table because there's too much going around. But back then, if you actually farmed your own land, raised your own food, you broke your back, but no matter what, when you know that you're breaking your back, everybody is taken care of.
Sure.
So now, I feel like I'm getting it in a different way. I feel like we've gone too far into this lifestyle. I felt like
we've lost touch.
We've lost touch.
Think about that. Go backwards, right? And you think before we were us, right? Before we were upright, businessmen and blue collar workers like me and you. Well, before that, Okay, before we even, stood up, and decided to walk upright, how much taxes did we pay? How much property taxes did we pay? Because back then, who could presume to even own the earth that you stood on? It wasn't there for you to own it. It was there as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every day is a gift. So when I think about the whole thing, and someone says, "Well, we think the government is tracking down the Sasquatch and they're killing them, they're harvesting them," and I've heard a lot of different rumors. Their hair follicles for their cloaking,
Cloaking
abilities. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, a being that's solely evolved out in the wilds. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. This thing could be way more advanced than I'm even giving it credit for. But if you said to me, like, hey, I think it's because of their blood, their immunities, their white blood cells, maybe they have a different type of immune system. Maybe it's more powerful than ours. Maybe it's vastly superior than ours. I mean, hell, everything else they do outclasses us, so maybe. And then we heard the UFO connection thing. They hate the UFOs as much as we do. And like you brought up is, well, don't you think the UFOs would be studying them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, yeah.
Yeah, like
if I was an alien studying this planet and I saw that, I'd be like,
that's a subspecies.
Yeah.
To another species, like to the main populace of this area, and you see another one adjacent to it, and it's hidden from the view.
Yeah.
They're hiding themselves. That's like 101, like just studying like biology and like the how to like learn, like what are they doing differently, like what are they doing. It's like it would be fascinating for a alien to, like, I guess you would say, seeing that from the outside in.
I mean, it'd be two different hominids evolved down two different, polar opposite paths.
Yeah.
Right? And, you look at one side is over-industrious and well overpopulated to the point of almost constant sickness. We have sickness everywhere, guys. I'm not trying to be a downer here. I'm just saying that look around us. We have all of the telltale signs of a population of humans, all of us, planet Earth, human beings, Homo sapien. We have all the telltale signs of an overpopulated creature, okay? Our diseases are out of control. We have cancers that are unstoppable, okay? We have more problems going on with genetics and, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and make a list. Name it, and we probably have it. And no one, no matter how educated they are, no matter how big of an army of these brilliant doctors we have, they cannot catch up. They get one small victory with cancer. They're excited. I don't blame them.
Oh, yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, that one little victory is, it's obviously meaningful and a very big step for that family and that person. And I don't want to take away from that. But in the grand scheme of things, in regards to the amount of this that we're dealing with, that is a tiny little victory in a gigantic ocean of opposition. We are overpopulated, and I think the Sasquatch is maintaining its own population. And again, people disagree with this, but I do not believe for a second that there's several thousands of these things in each state. I think it may be 50 at most, maybe 100. I don't know, but it's not going into the thousands. Because if they evolved that far and they're that advanced, they would already know.
You mean 50 to a state, or?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe? Okay.
Maybe a region. Because you think about it. You take like a quarter of the United States and drop 50 in there. How many times do you think they're going to get spotted?
I wouldn't say that
There's
many.
probably a couple million people in that quarter, right? There's
Yeah, 50.
millions of miles of just forest.
Yeah.
You got 50 Sasquatch in there. You might capture one on film or have an encounter every now and again, but you're not going to be seeing them, running up and down the street like squirrels.
Well, then, but we gotta throw into the other factor of everybody else has been talking about. We said that last time. I still have a trouble reaching on it. Is the portal thing? If they have a way of cloaking themselves, that's another factor. We could be seeing, not only seeing the ones. I don't know if they have the one thing that gets me with the cloaking or portals. Why are we getting some of these sightings? Are these all these sightings that we've saw?
Yeah.
I want to say there's a couple, thousands. I'm probably way more pictures of Sasquatch that they looked pretty realistic.
Yep.
But they're blurry. Are they going through a portal, or they're kind of cloaking themselves just as that? Are all these pictures that you've seen, are they fake?
Right.
You're going to tell me thousands of pictures are going to be fake?
Well,
at least not one.
To Bigfoot's credit, it has a lot more going on for it than the Dogman.
Yeah, that's true. I have not seen a.
Okay, not pulling. I'm not going to sit here and call out names, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you know this. I sent evidence, legitimate investigation evidence to the two biggest names out there for Dogman, and neither one of them wanted to hear it.
I hate to say it, I want to
I sent diagram first.
Yeah.
Here, look at this, then read what I have to say, and they both blew me off. And you know what's funny about that is I had seen this a meme had popped up, and it had all it said was it had a picture of the mystery van from Scooby-Doo. Yeah. And someone on another channel had said, "Hey, Denny, pay attention to that meme. It's important." And they never explained any further. And when I got to, kind of looking at it and thinking, it started to become clear that, there's a reason why the Dogman doesn't have pictures. There's thousands of stories out there, millions maybe. I don't know. I want to say it's probably in the thousands. And in those stories, the Dogman is always blatantly obvious, out in the open, making himself known, crystal clear. There's no mistaking it. Here's a detailed description and not one single believable picture. There's a lot of, what is it called? Pareidolia or whatever.
Yeah, pareidolia.
Where you see the faces. There's that. I've been through hundreds of them. I've literally been through hundreds of those pictures. I've ran them through the red spectrum. I've inverted them. I've adjusted contrast, and I'm looking, and all I'm finding is leaves and blank space. And
if you stare at something for a long time, you're going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Your mind starts to. Your mind is actually drawing an outline of things that it's you've seen, in a movie or.
Right.
Especially if you, personally, the people that are taking these pictures, they're thinking about these things over and over and over and over. So I feel that's what their mind is they see something, and it's their mind is basically focused on the shape of that.
Every now and again, there's a few that come through Candace's pictures. She has a few that have come through. She's actually sent me a couple hundred pictures just this last week, and I've been trying to get through them, but nobody really, I guess, knows this out there. But me and Tyler both just started new jobs, and our hours are a lot crazier. And we're going to do our best to make sure that doesn't affect our episodes, but it could happen, just to warn you guys. But I haven't got a chance to go through Candace's photos yet that she just sent me, but she did have some before the first time we talked to her that she sent me where I actually, was like, well, that's pretty interesting. I've got one, and I'll put it on the website. I'll put it on our website and show people in the little blog area or whatever, and I'll stick it on the Facebook also. And it actually, when I moved the red spectrum through it and I inverted it and everything, it actually looks like a hand coming out from underneath the tree.
Oh,
And
yeah?
it is strange. It's very strange, but I don't know, but that's interesting. Like whatever she's got going on over there is much. I think it's a lot more complex than just Dogman. I think there's something big is going on there, and I'm waiting for more information to come from some kind of investigation on it. But I'm just saying my problem with that whole thing is that with Bigfoot, you got a lot of people trying.
Yeah.
And we have some out there that are propagating, they're in the mystery machine. The solving of the mystery doesn't matter as long as there's a new episode.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. I get what you're doing, and that's okay. Even right now, what we're doing right now, we're just fleshing it out. We're not really contributing to the solution, but we are sitting here talking about this, and we've invited you guys along to be in the conversation with us. The thing is that I've experienced lately is there's several big names out there that are feeding an agenda, and the agenda doesn't have our best interest in mind. The agenda has more of a monetary agenda in mind. I think I just overused agenda big time there, but honestly, it's getting ridiculous. And like I said, I reached out to the biggest names out there. I'm not going to drop names on them. I'm not going to get involved with their drama. That's all them. They're more focused on their drama with each other than they are the actual solution. And I'll tell you what it was, too. I said that their Dogman was kangaroos. Me and you we sat there and proved it together. It's on our YouTube, guys, if you want to see it. We sat there and we lined up. We had a list of the descriptions. Remember this? Mm-hmm. Okay. Glowing eyes. That's proven. All right. Well, it's eye shine. Mm-hmm. All right. Ripped physique. Right? They always say that over and over again. This thing was ripped. Like a bodybuilder ripped. Standing upright, bigger than a man. And sometimes the same size of a man.
Yeah, kangaroos can get up towards 6 to 8 feet.
Yep. Long black fingernails. Right? And then there's the footprint that got me was out at Skinwalker Ranch. They have pictures of these strange footprints with 3 toes and claws. And there's also rumors of what's called errant kangaroos. They are kangaroos that were bought as pets and released into the United States, and they kind of just live wherever they live. And a lot of people have seen them. You can look it up. It's really interesting. Blew my mind. Anyway, so the Dogman, the behavior was, they said, the grin, remember? They always talk about that. The Dogman, he grinned at me, smiled at me. Look up kangaroos grinning. Look up kangaroos scratching on glass and looking in the window. Look up aggressive kangaroos coming right at your car. Look up kangaroos going after pets. 9 out of 10, the traits will match. I don't know what the Dogman is, but I offered an alternative. I said to one of the big names, I was like, hey, I don't know if this is going to solve the Dogman thing because there's some descriptions that describe it in vivid detail that this is canine. Okay? Yeah. But I said, what if we could eliminate a bunch of them by lining them up with this and say, hey, you know what? This lines up really well. There's so many pieces of this that work. Why not look into it? Wouldn't even give me the time of day. They're not interested in that. They're not interested in alternatives that might scare away their
Yeah, I get that, but in some ways too is that I just don't think we have a name. Like, our podcast is small. Sure. We're just starting out. I'm glad that the following that we have, I appreciate it. Yeah. Like, hopefully it grows more, but I feel like that's one big reason too is that these big names, they don't. Well, I don't want to throw them under the bus and say they don't want to talk to us, but like are they going to talk to us based on, like, we don't have the criteria that of an investigator or something of that nature.
The other difference is that you and I on this little show we're not attracting fanatics.
Oh yeah.
we're attracting critical thinkers that are okay with disagreeing.
Yeah, I
They
would like to
disagree,
disagree.
and they leave it at that. You know, when we put that out there, we put out the kangaroo theory. You know, the video is called what is the video called? It's like it'll say something like Dogman, maybe not, or something like that. You'll find it if you're really interested.
It's a cryptid theory.
Yeah, it's a cryptid theory. It's on our YouTube channel. But there were some people on there that they straight up just knocked it down. They're like, nope. This is not a Dogman. That's that's
Did
crazy.
they actually message you? I don't remember.
They were commenting.
Oh.
My favorite comment
Oh, you're talking about on our actual.
On the
Oh,
YouTube.
okay. I thought you were talking about them.
my favorite comment, and it's
Oh.
still on there. You
Yeah.
know this one? This guy said, errant kangaroos loose in the United States. That's crazy. And I couldn't help it. I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm literally sitting there like, as opposed to a 6-7 foot tall werewolf. Where is your line in the sand, sir? I mean, I'm okay with it. I just want to hear
Yeah.
what's your ammo for that one?
Yeah, like you can't.
Are you just disagreeing to disagree? Do you have something to back that? Mm-hmm. Kangaroos in the United States. That's crazy. Fun fact, folks. There might be more kangaroos in the United States than there even is in Australia. There is tigers. Look that one up. This shit can't be made up, folks. This is human behavior. This is us. We did this. You know, if there's errant kangaroos running around the United States, guess who did that?
Yeah.
That's on us. We're not done yet, too. I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff we're going to tear up. Kangaroo population is just one of them. But look at it. I mean, look at the world in front of you. Look how crazy this world is, and this universe is that we float around in. And just think for a second. Is it that crazy? Hey, really? I don't think it is.
Yeah. We're not asking you to go out there and just start telling everybody that you believe in Sasquatch, but just sit there and think that there is a chance. It's like even if you think it's supernatural,
Yeah.
or I guess spiritual.
Yeah, spiritual
I guess
being.
biblical, if you would
Or,
say
yeah,
like
the Nephilim. That's a
Nephilim.
big. You know,
It's an evolution offshoot of us,
yeah.
or another type of ape that was never really documented, and it actually became upright just like us.
Right.
So, we're not saying to just blatantly believe
Yeah,
us.
You don't have to throw in.
You
just
gotta
like that.
just think that there's a possibility. Just gather all your guys' your thoughts and beliefs on the whole subject. Make your own conclusion, and maybe you're the one that will come out and actually give a good understanding of what this really thing is.
That would be my challenge to our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
This week's episode comes with a little challenge. I challenge you to send us your theories.
Yeah.
I don't care what so-and-so said or even we said.
Yeah.
I don't care what Professor Bigfoot over here said or the Bigfoot organizations. I don't care. Everybody has their place at this table, so I want to hear what your individual theory is, no matter how crazy, no matter, even if you think it's silly, I don't care. I want to hear what you have to say. Bring it to the table. Let us hear it. Tell us any way you want. Email us, encounters@kentuckyxfiles.com, or drop it on the YouTube, or hit us up on Facebook. Whatever you want to do, just get it to us.
Yep.
Send us a voice message. We have that now. Mm-hmm. You can get on our Facebook and you can send us a voice message. We can play it on the thing. Tell us your theories. I want to hear it. I want to know what you think. And I might not agree with you.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to respectfully disagree if I disagree. Or I'm going to go, wow, that's something new. Okay, let's add that to the table. Mm-hmm. Let's focus on this. Let's push this. Let's see what we got here. I'm not interested in perpetuating the myth, guys. I'm interested in figuring this out because something is happening out there. And instead of a solution, we have Finding Bigfoot on TV. Commercial breaks.
we we have this notion that there's these guys that are considered like the gatekeepers of the Bigfoot community,
You know,
and they're not. There's no one out there. There's no such thing as an expert on Bigfoot because they've never studied an actual Bigfoot.
yeah,
Unless if they have, then
right.
they're government funded or something like that. But what I'm saying is no one's an expert out here, so we don't have a textbook. We don't have any kind of thing. All we have to go off of is each other. And that's how things like come to be to figure out crap. We get together, we talk about it, we take things out that doesn't make sense. This one doesn't make sense, and we just keep piling on until we actually figure out what this actually thing is.
I was watching a live stream from a pretty big name Bigfoot researcher. I say that with air quotes. And like I said, man, I'm not trying to be negative tonight or anything, but this stuff needs to be addressed, okay? For one, I noticed something. Everything in life has a pattern, okay? And this pattern showed itself to me, and I'll tell you guys what it is. I'm not, again, disclaimer, I'm not dropping names. I refuse to be a part of the drama. But this researcher has put out documentaries and videos and you know, again, air quotes, evidence, but also doesn't go out and research anymore. Instead of doing those things, right, putting out evidence and putting out research, this guy doesn't do any of that anymore. He just gets on a live stream every now and again and just tells people about all this research that he's not showing. He's just telling, and when I watch him and I watch his body language, I get the notion that he's making up a lot of nonsense to keep people interested. He's not actually going out in the woods anymore and, you know, actually doing anything. He's literally just getting on here and, you know, scaring up some extra dollars out of his views. And that is not helping, you know. That is not helping. Now there's a few out there that are really good. There's a few out there that I think are actually trying, you know. There's ones that are more focused on the people, you know, letting people share their stories. There's others that are out there going more into alternate theories about what they believe this being is. And there's other ones that are actually doing field research, trying to figure out, you know, how they can get a sample or get pictures and get real evidence. And it's a difficult task. You know, it's the most difficult animal in the world to hunt would be a human. You know, especially a skilled human. So imagine the world's most skilled special forces in the woods, and you're out there with your cell phone trying to take a picture of it, and you're beating on a tree. I don't think the tree knocking thing is a communication, guys. I think it's literally to get us to look one way while the other ones move off. Stop knocking on trees. Come on. Think about it.
Or go in the opposite direction of it.
Yeah, if you hear the knock, go the other way, because that's where they're going to be. That one that knocked, his job is to distract you. He's there to make you look the wrong way. Think about it. Use deductions. Use logic. And we're going to get to the bottom of it, I think. You know? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, I know I've said it a couple of times already in this episode. Not trying to be a downer, but this stuff needs to be addressed, and I want it to be out there. And we have been famously neutral this whole time, but I'm getting a little sick of it. I'm getting a little sick of what I'm finding, and it has nothing to do with the evidence at hand. The evidence at hand is piling up, and it's coming from different directions. What I'm getting sick of is the guys elbowing their way in between all that, and it has nothing to do with bringing anything substantial to the table. It's just entertainment. relabel that as fiction and move on.
Yep.
You know, your Dogman stories, they'd be great if we just had something physical to back it up. We don't.
The only other thing that I wanted to say back to the kangaroo thing, I always thought was weird is that, like, yeah, that could combat, like, a lot, maybe some or a lot of the sightings, but there are some weird ones where they always ask them, did you see a tail? And a lot of them say they didn't see a tail. I don't know, some of these errant kangaroos might have...
I don't know.
Don't have a
That's why
tail.
earlier I was saying if you look it up, 9 out of 10 traits will match.
Yeah.
The tail is the 10th that doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes they will say that it doesn't have that, but
hey, 9 out of 10.
And plus, like, what I keep going at too, their fate, like, most of the time the encounter is facing you.
Yeah.
So would you notice a tail, especially if you're that scared?
I don't know. I
So
mean,
that's speculation. So I can't, like, since the evidence, you can't, like, I can't say that's the reason why they didn't see a tail, but that's another thing too, is like if it's staring right at them and they're, especially these kangaroos will get violent fast.
Yeah, they're dicks.
They're dicks.
They are literally violent animals.
So if, like, you're about to get pelted by this thing, you're going to start running away, and you're going to remember its front appearance, not what's on the ass end of it.
Right.
Like, I get that, like, you'll notice, like, how it stands, probably the muscle structure of it, like, and they get
That's
ripped.
what I'm saying. They're ripped. They have biceps.
So,
they have six
like,
packs.
Yeah, they have six packs. Like, so I get, like, the comparison is there, but the tail thing gets me. But a lot of people say that I've never actually seen a furry one. I think you showed me a picture of one.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, like, they're shaggy, kind of like a dog.
Yeah, some of them can be.
So I've never really saw that. I think you send me a picture.
I don't know.
It's believable.
Man. It's gonna be one of them things that, you know, unless somebody, you know, much more famous than us comes out with this theory, you know, and takes credit for it, they are gonna, you know, that's the only way it's gonna get out to the masses. It's all about the mystery machine. We got to keep the mystery going. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the kangaroo theory ruins a lot of stories. If you think about it, it ruins a lot of
I love,
really
like,
good,
because it's the speculation,
suspense stories.
The suspense stories. I feel like like, I'm not gonna name it, but a lot of people are probably gonna know what I'm talking about. Is that the fictional scary story guy on YouTube?
Yeah.
All he does is read these random stories,
right,
and posts them.
Yeah,
and it makes it sound like it's an encounter coming from somebody. So the reason why that guy is so big is because they have juicy details that a lot of the actual encounters that you hear on, like, our podcast and other paranormal and cryptozoology podcasts,
right,
like, they're not as juicy as what he does. But his is fiction.
Yeah.
His is straight up fiction. Like, there's no way around it, and I think he knows that. But the reason why he's so big is because of that.
It's because it's entertaining.
It's entertaining. That's why we watch horror movies, because we love that excitement. And I feel like people like the excitement of a Sasquatch, a Dogman.
Sure, it's
because
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, the idea of it's unnatural and it's scary. Man.
Yeah, it's unnatural and it's scary, but I feel like the people that want that should go to the one guy. The other people that, like, because I feel like they're muddying the waters, because that's the... Yeah. I feel like a lot of these podcasts are starting to do what that guy's doing.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the mystery machine going. There's
a formula to a pattern to the Dogman stories, especially coming from a couple different sources. The biggest name, I'd say, the pattern is that the story starts with, you know, tell us a little bit about your encounter, and then the person generally says a little bit about it or whatever, and then goes into their background. They establish a character and they establish an origin basically for the setup of the story. Then they'll go into what, it'll set the scene. Here's what I was doing at so and so place, X, Y, and Z. Then this happened, and then this happened, and I felt like this and this and this and this, and I'm alive to tell the story. There you go. Dogman never kills anyone. Okay, there's thousands of stories out there right now to show that Dogman does not kill people. Dogman doesn't hurt nobody. There's this feeling of all these things are pure evil. Why? You all survived. What's so evil? He didn't eat you. You're alive.
Yeah.
Celebrate it. The Dogman's awesome. He didn't eat you. I'm just saying, it's like if we're looking at this with critical thinking, a little bit of a skeptical mind, then, well, the Dogman behavior doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's not even dog-like. Okay? The Sasquatch makes sense because the behavior patterns fit. It gets angry. It doesn't want you getting closer. It doesn't want you around it. It could have a family pod nearby. It could have babies nearby or a mate nearby. Yeah, he's going to throw shit at you. He wants you away from him. These behaviors make sense. A mother Sasquatch that lost her baby takes a baby out of a window. Baby starts crying. They find the baby. They get the baby back. No Sasquatch to be found. But the baby is, out in the woods somewhere when they find it. Okay. A mother in mourning for her lost baby, she might do something like that. It might be, in the wild, some females take babies from others. The maternal, they have a maternal instinct that kicks in, and sometimes it makes them do things. I'm not saying that human women are like this, so nobody needs to get offended. I'm just saying that things happen. These things are weird, and they don't fit our everyday patterns, but sometimes we have to look outside of those patterns to see what these things are. The Sasquatch always seems to be next to rivers, waters. What's that tell you? It tells me that they're good swimmers.
I feel like I've always wanted to say this. Maybe that's the reason why they always say a wet dog smell.
Wet dog smell.
If
there
they're
you go.
always in the water.
Always around water. They're
And
fermenting all day long.
Yeah.
And the reason that they smell like wet dog and
Garbage.
and dead animals is because,
Like,
hey, look this up, folks. When dogs roll into dead things and garbage, it's not because they think it's awesome. It's because they think it's going to fool bigger animals into thinking that they killed something and not to mess with them. You can research that. That's a fact. Interesting, huh? Hey, why wouldn't Sasquatch pick that one up? Hey, if I
Yeah.
smell terrible, shit'll leave me alone. There's bears out here, man.
There's
I might be as big as one, but I don't mean I want to fight one all the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean?
Like, it's not like just because you're a big guy,
Yeah.
like you go to the gym every day.
Have you seen some of the sizes of some of these packs of Yellowstone wolves? There's like 20 wolves in a pack.
Jesus Christ.
I don't care how big of a Sasquatch you are. You gonna take on 20 wolves? They'll get you in the end, unless
Yeah.
you smell like something they don't want to mess with. If you smell like you've been on a murder spree, they're gonna be like, nah, let's go find a deer or an elk or something, maybe a buffalo. I don't think we should mess with this.
Yeah.
They're not stupid, but neither is Sasquatch. He's not stupid.
Yeah, it seems like all the ones that I feel like I'm gonna have to bite my tongue on this one, but all the ones that eat meat are the smarter, the ones that like they have judgment. I
Yeah.
guess you would say.
Sure, critical thinking, yeah.
Critical thinking, and then all the other ones that kind of lesser brain function is more of like the plant eaters.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
I hate to say it.
What's I've said this a million times. What's smarter, the shark or the fish? What's smarter, the wolf or the deer? Some people would argue and say, well, the deer's smarter. They know how to evade predators. Well,
Let's
no.
run.
You might want to.
That's all
That's
they
that's just running.
Yeah, that's
running away.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, that was the thing that you said, like, goes back to the whole thing. Either be stronger or smarter, or if you can't be those, be fast.
Be fast.
And they are fast.
They are fast, but they don't always make it.
They don't always make it.
And sometimes the wolf strategizes how he's going to catch it. He sets up an ambush.
Mm-hmm.
He critically thinks about what he needs to do and coordinates an entire pack to work together to do it. There's instinctual behavior and instinctual, intelligence, honestly. I mean,
yeah.
There you have it. I mean,
so that's like, to go back on too, I really believe a lot of people keep saying that they're not meat eaters.
yeah,
I don't buy that at all.
That.
Because if they have this much brain function,
Yeah.
they have to be eating some meat. They have to,
yeah.
Unless they're, like, I don't know.
They're
I've never
loading up with proteins.
Yeah, I've just never. What else out there gives I know there's plant proteins, but
Yeah.
I've never heard that being like. I don't think that would be sustainable for that a thing that size.
I mean, look at that, man. I mean, people are like, what could sustain it? Us. It doesn't have to eat us. It just has to take shit from us. Think about it. If it's not out there getting a deer, he'll just walk right into your farm and something of yours is going to go missing. You ever heard of cattle mutilations? Mm-hmm. Think about it. This stuff happens.
The only thing about cattle mutilations, the whole no blood thing gets me.
I don't know.
That would be weird.
That's weird, but I feel like that's a whole different cryptid.
Yeah.
That's the chupacabra, which is another interesting one.
Well, no, we actually had that around here in Kentucky.
No shit.
I can't remember what specific place it was, but there was a couple of times this farmer kept coming out to his field and this cow dead,
No
with
kidding.
no blood whatsoever, not a drop, not didn't even stain the ground.
Definitely gonna have to look more into that one. I'm interested. I'd be interested in just doing an episode on. I would love to lay that one out.
Yeah,
But I think we better wrap this one up, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're about an hour.
Okay.
I think we got people that are gonna be listening, and I be honest with you, I've been awake for like 20 hours. So
Yeah.
if I'm droning on in this episode, I am sorry, guys. My new work schedule is kind of kicking my butt a little bit.
So yeah, we're gonna try to keep this going. Don't give up on us, guys. We're not gonna give up on you. We still want to hear everything you guys have. Like Denny just said earlier in the episode, give us your theories. What do you?
Yeah, send them to that voice thing.
Yeah, send them to that voice thing.
I would love to check out some voice messages.
Yeah, we can play them live on the right here, and then we'll dissect them. We won't be mean about them or anything. We'll just we'll throw them back and forth, give us ideas. Okay, yeah, he said this or said that. It's kind of just a discussion. We're gonna have a discussion with you.
Yes.
But via your voicemails and stuff.
We're going to smoke pipes and discuss things together. You guys
drink
and us,
scotch.
And drink scotch. Or bourbon. All right. So, guys, you know what? As always, we really appreciate everything. The amount of downloads coming in is increasing substantially every week. And it's really hard to keep up with how many of you guys are actually out there now. Always a humbling thing, to be honest with you. Please send us everything you got. Send us any of your encounters. Send it to the email, encounters@kyxfiles.com, or send it to our Facebook page. Send us a voice message. I'm going to keep plugging that until you do it, so you might as well just get it over with. Send us even, you know what? You can even get on there and just say hi to us.
Yeah.
Say hi. I'm okay with that. That'd be awesome. Just knowing you guys are out there. I know I did some shout outs earlier. We gave Travis a free shout out. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that guy.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
There's a reason for that shout out. He's always on there. He told us this last week. He said, I have a reason to look forward to Mondays now.
That's good.
That's
awesome,
dude. That's high praise.
That is high praise. I appreciate that.
Ridiculous high praise right there. Mondays being good again.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys. You guys take it easy out there. Keep your heads on a swivel. Trust your gut. And look out for each other, okay? We'll see you next week.